Welcome, everyone. I am a few minutes, just give me a couple of seconds. I need to get something done. I've got a light shining, trying to provide some more lighting behind me. Ouch. So give me just a minute. Come on in, have a seat. I need to uh, make a copy of something real quick. Ooh, now all of a sudden I'm about to sweat to death. Okay. I think this is what I need. There we go. Get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Let us, woo-wee, all these lights are on, they're making me get hot. All right, let's see. We are going to open up the chat and paste. Oh, hello, Karen. How are you? All right, hang on. I'm making sure I get my thing up posting. Hang on. I don't know about. There we go. There we go. Whew. It is hot in here. I got lights on every which direction, trying to get more lighting in here. Oh my goodness gracious. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure we're live on the page. Oh my gosh, I am like, ooh, Lord, I have to get my fan out in a minute. Let's see. I think I'm in the, oh, you can see my light behind me. I'm trying to add some light and I don't know if this is working or not working. So I'm going to move this thing over. I don't want y'all seeing the light, but I'm trying to add some more light behind me. This thing is hot as you know what. I couldn't find my, stand, my umbrella stand. It's somewhere probably in the garage. Who knows? But anyways, well, hopefully it will work. All right, let me see. Let's see. You are, I know it's hot, all these lights. Are you on Facebook? I just want to make sure. I was trying to get signed in, but I don't see the red line around my thing. So let me go in this way. Oh, I am. I'm live. I had to take the dog out to after she ate so she could do her, her business. And she decided, she's getting better, but she's still nervous about different sounds and stuff. Well, tonight we are walking and we usually do this long walk. She didn't want to do that. And then she starts hesitating because I think she's feeling a vibe or something. I don't know. And so I have to pick her up, carry her a few steps, put her down, then she'll walk. Don't ask me. But anyway, so I thought it was time because she ate dinner, if you get my drift. And she just didn't want, anyways, we came back in. So my husband will probably have to take her out. But she's playing. She gets in, we've had that, Riley was much older, so we're not used to having those young dogs. So she sleeps all day, right? And then she gets up and now she wants to play. So he's throwing her toys. Every morning when we get back from a walk, she is doing her zoomies. And I'll throw one of her toys and she runs around the living room, down the hallway, slides on the carpet, goes around like she's on a racetrack. It's just crazy. So she's doing it now. Last night I took her out. It was probably 9:30, quarter to 10. We got back in. She decided she was ready to play. And so I'm throwing the toy and she is running around the house like a wild woman. And you can hear her nails clicking on the floor. So I have to, anyways, tomorrow's beauty day for her. She's going in to get groomed. But she is a mess. I'm telling you. Oh my gosh, she is a mess. Anyway, so we will get started here in just a few minutes. Hey, Judy, how are you? Let me turn my volume down on my phone so we don't have echoing here. All right, let's see. What time is it? We got people on board. Yay, people are here. Woohoo, hello. Welcome, everyone. All right, let's go ahead and get started. The stragglers will straggle on in. Let's see, what time is it? 7:01. All right, I'll go ahead and introduce myself and we'll get that knocked out and then we'll get started shortly thereafter. So welcome, everyone. I'm Dawn Duvall. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin Up. And I've been doing this. My best friend asked me, how long have you been doing this? I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I think it'll be 15 years in February. I can't believe that. So anyways, 15 years. And I live in Fort Myers, Florida. So I am here to help you with paper crafting questions, show you ideas, give you techniques and all that fun stuff. And I like having fun. I make mistakes and it's okay to do that because we're all human. Nobody's perfect, right? And I do laugh at myself. So if you're new to my channel, be prepared. If you're watching and you are new to my channel, welcome. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure you like and share my video. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you're on, you're on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and click that bell. So every time I upload a new video, you will be notified and you won't miss out on any of the fun that we're doing. So there you go. All right. So with that being said, I don't know. I'm trying to pull paper out and I don't know why I'm doing it. It's sticking to the back of my little baggies. All right. So let's see what's going on in Stampin' Up. Oh, so, y'all, I don't know if anybody has shared this yet or not. I'm not sure if we're supposed to, but they told us. They're going to have a join offer. This is the first I've ever heard of them doing this. So if you are interested in getting a discount on your crafting supplies, I would highly encourage you during the month of October to join. And if you're not working with the demonstrator, I'd love to have you join my stamping community. You will get $125. Now, guess how much? It's less than, I'm just going to say it's less than $50, like $15 less than 50. Or you can spend $99 and get, I want to say it's 185 or 189. Don't hold me to that. It's in the 180 mark for $99. So that's a join special in October. So even if I just highly would encourage you to get some supplies, get things that you want. The holidays are approaching, get some stamp sets, get stuff on sale. It's a great time to do that. So if you join in October, you would have until the end of the first quarter of next year, March, to meet the minimum that's required for those 3 months. And I can go over all of that with you later. If not, what happens is you stop getting a discount and you go back to being a paying customer at full price. So that's the difference. So keep that in mind. So if there's anything that you've always wanted or money's a little tight, I think that you can probably do it that way and be able to choose $125 in products. So I think that's a great deal. Okay, so if you know anybody that might be interested, pass them along my way. I'd greatly appreciate it. All righty. So I'm looking at the light and now I got all these lights in here. Oh, I know. Bundles, and there's stuff on sale too. So, okay. I am doing now I cased this card from Sue Stampfield. Hey, Debbie Green, welcome. I cased this card from Sue Stampfield. She just, well, she didn't just, but she went to her $1 million event in Salt Lake City in Utah recently. And her stamp set, I don't know if her stamp set's out yet or not. I'm not sure. It may be. I'm not sure. But anyways, all right. So this first card that I'm showing you is one that I cased from her, which means copy and share everything. So I've cased that from her. And then the second one we're doing is a new one. I got this card years ago and I was cleaning out because I'm reorganizing my little area. And I came across all these cards and oh my gosh, y'all wait till you see it. So anyways, all right, so let's get started. I'm going to flip the camera down because I know y'all don't want to look at my face. So let me flip it down. Give me just a second. Oopsie, hold on, because I had it pretty much in position. I'm going to flip it. Give me a minute. Let me flip the camera. Okay, because I don't want to be backwards. All right, there we go. Now, that looks dark, doesn't it? Okay, what is going on? Let's see if we can get some light over here. Hold on. I'm going to play with this little guy and see if that helps. Oh, that helps a little bit, doesn't it? I think that does. Okay, so this is what she calls a, oh my gosh, triple flip card, I think is what she called it. Honestly, I don't remember. But isn't this cute? Now, this is using the, what is it? It's got that name. Hold on, I got it right here. The Autumn I would say toil, but they say toile or whatever. So that's what the paper is. It's got the deers, the rustic trees. It has the Cajun crazed foxes, and it has the Oh, what's the one? The pumpkins. It's got it's got more of the fall type look to it. So this is what I did. I cased this. I cased the card base itself. Everything else I did myself. This is using the countryside corner dies. And then I embossed a piece with the, there's a leaf embossing folder, autumn leaves, and I think it's going out, if not already off, out of the program. I think it is, but anyways. So I use that embossing folder and embossed, if you can see the leaves on here. I don't know if you can see them there you go. I love this folder. So anyways, so you open this up, this folds down. So now you have a card like this, right? But then wait for it. Then you can make it into, she calls it an easel, I think a triple flip easel card. So there you go. It stands up by itself. All right. So you look like that. Turn it this way so y'all can see it. That's how it would stand. So somebody can hold it, place it on their desk, on the bureau, wherever they want to put it. And then on the back of the card, I placed a piece of very vanilla with another strip of that coordinating cardstock. But isn't that cute? Oops, I'm trying to hide up my things here. There we go. Got to hide that up. I don't want that showing through y'all. I thought this one was showing. Okay, so that's what we're going to make. And we're going to use a whole different set of colors. So I'm going to move this off to the side. Welcome, Jane. Welcome, everyone. Brenda. Hi. Hey, Linda. Welcome, everybody. Okay, so that's the card we're going to be making, and we're going to use Blackberry Bliss and Fresh Freesia is what we're going to do on this card. So we're going to make this one this is going to be probably more of a springy card, I guess. I was trying to find something that's going to be a little bit more darker for the holidays, but I think this is fine. It really doesn't matter, but I'm going to lay the card right here so you can kind of see it. And hopefully I've got enough light over here. Maybe I'll scooch over and there we go. Okay, so you need to have, I've already pre-cut everything. So you'll need to have a piece of cardstock that's going to be 4 1/4 by 11. And then you're going to score at 1 inch. And then this is dark, so I know you're not going to be able to see it. You're going to score at 1 inch and 6 1/2, if I'm not mistaken. Hang on, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yeah, 6 1/2. So 6 1/2, you're going to do 1 inch and 6 1/2. So this piece here is going to be our flap at the top. All right. And then we're going to take our bone folder and we're going to give this a good crease. Wait till you see the second card. I've not seen that before. All right. Well, anyways, we're going to do this one first. And then we're going to fold this one up, the 6 1/2 part. And let's go ahead and get that burnished really good. Okay. So that's what our card is going to look like, right? It's dark. I know that. And then it will open like this. Okay. Now some of this, I'm using items that have retired. So this is Dainty Diamonds embossing folder. So I did use that, and I did that on a piece of the Blackberry Bliss. And I know you probably can't see, but let me see if I can get it under here where I get some light on it to show. Can you see the Dainty Diamonds? They're so dainty, you won't be able to see them. So, all right. So I did this. I'm putting this on the front. So this piece is 4 1/4 by 4 1/2. Okay. So we're just going to glue that. It's going to go right on the front of the card. Now you can put whatever you want on the front of your card, right? So I'm doing this because I was trying to figure out what I was going to make and what I could decorate with and what stamps I wanted to use. Hang on a minute. Now my glue has decided it doesn't want to come out. Hang on. Oh, Lord. I might have to run into the other room. Give me a second. It's going to come globbing out here in just a second. It's coming. If I had a stick pin, hang on. Let me see if I can get, y'all with me. You never know what's going to happen. I'll stick my tweezers down in there. Maybe we can get it open. I think there's glue in there. I didn't put the lid on it, so that's been sitting for a week. Hang on. If this little dude doesn't work, I'm going to run out and go get the other one because all right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hold on. He's a-coming. I just got to get him unclogged. I should keep a little pin in here, right? So I can poke it. I don't think I have any. Hang on. It's slowly coming out. Can you see that blob coming out? Hang on. Good Lord. Guess I should check my glue before I get started. There we go. Gosh, darn golly geez. All right, let's get that all on here. And with it being embossed, you want to put a little extra glue on there only because it's going to, you want it to stick, right? All right, so we've got our whoops, not that one. All right, so we've got 4 1/4 by 4 1/2. Let me make sure I got it right. Yep, we got it right. So I'm going to lay it down, and I know this is dark cardstock. I should have picked something that wasn't quite as dark. So we're going to lay that right there, and that's going to be the front of our card. All right, so that goes there. It fits perfectly. Look at that. All right, and then I went ahead and did another piece for the inside just to give it some texture because it kind of looks naked, right? Kind of sort of does. So I'm going to put this right in here, and this piece is 4 1/4. I want to say it's 5. Hang on a minute. 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so we're going to add that to the inside. Now you can put another piece of coordinating paper here, or you could put another piece down here if you chose to do that. It's up to you. I'm going to put this here because I didn't want to put a piece of pattern paper and it's going to conflict with my piece that I'll show you here in just a minute. Okay. So now that we have the glue working, let's go ahead and add our adhesive to this. Let's see if we can get it. There we go. Now it's coming out. There we go. Woo! That was a little worrisome. All right. So I'm going to put a little bit more on here than I normally would, only because it's embossed. I'll make sure that I put the lid on that thing before I close it up for the evening. And then this is going to go in here. And again, it's going to go from side to side. And then I've left a little bit of room at the top and towards the bottom so it folds up and nothing gets in the way. Okay. All right. So there's that. And it's all even. I think we got it on there pretty good. Okay. Now the next thing that I've done is I've taken some fresh freesia, and this is going to be our little stand here. I'm going to fold this up. Now I'm going to put, before I do that, this is 1 1/2, let's see, it's 1 5/8 by 5 1/4. And then this is 1 1/2 by 5. So this is the winter Regals paper, and this was from last year, but I thought it was so pretty and I love the color, so that's why I'm using it. It kind of gives me, to me, this looks kind of like it's fall outside of the fresh freesia, right? But it's okay because we can use this for anytime we want, right? So, and it's got the pretty peacock on the back side. I was trying to figure out how I could make that pretty peacock work with the Blackberry Bliss, but it was just two colors too dark. They were just too dark being next to each other and it didn't really look good. So I chose not to do that. So I'm going to attach my flower on here and we'll just get that pushed on and get it nice and even. And the nice thing about the Tombow, the liquid glue, is you get to move your stuff around to get it in place, right? All right, so that's going to go there. And then I took a piece of the fresh freesia, and I cut this at 3/4 inch by 4 1/4. And I'm going to add, oh, wait a minute. I'm missing a piece. Hold on. Where's my other piece? Hold up. I thought I had, hang on. Let me check my envelope because I should have another piece that's embossed. Oh, I don't have it. What did I do? Oh, well. Okay. Well, we didn't emboss. Okay. Anyways, we're going to, I thought I had cut I know I did. I wonder if it's on my desk. Anyways, I cut a 3 1/4 piece of Blackberry Bliss to put up here so this isn't so plain looking, and embossed it with that embossing folder. Let me make sure it didn't fall out on the bed somewhere. Hold on a second. Let me just look because I'm in the bedroom. Hang on. No, I must have left it. Okay, that's all right. Anyways, I took a piece of Blackberry Bliss, 3/4 inch by 4 1/4, and by 4 inches, and it would go on here embossed. It's fine. I'm gonna leave it the way it is. It's not gonna hurt anything. It just gives it some more texture. That's all. All right. So what's going to take place is this is going to go. You know what I forgot to bring? I'm gonna have to get up and run out anyways because I didn't bring a piece of white paper. All right. Give me a second. Let me see. I'll be back in a minute. Let me go get some white cardstock. I don't think I have enough. Hang on. Okay. Whew. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm like, good Lord, I didn't bring my inside for my card. It's been one of those days. Okay. So anyways, we're going to put that on the back. And we are going to probably take, and I didn't bring the paper trimmer in here, so I think we can probably work it out. We're going to do some cutting. We're going to cut some stuff. All right, so this we're going to put on here, but we're going to add it with dimensional, so it pops up just a little bit. And then that way, when we close the card, it's going to lay, and I'm going to move it over, I don't know, what is that, maybe 1/4 of an inch, if that, maybe not even 1/2 an inch. So I'm going to lay it like that. I'm not going to worry about not embossing that. I think it will be fine. No one's going to know the difference, right? Okay. And then, so let's go ahead and put some dimensionals. Now I'm going to use the black just so that the white doesn't show through, since we're in using such dark paper here. So I'm going to go ahead and put the black. Let me make sure I get my flowers going in the right way. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the dimensionals up here. So that way I know where I want my card to go. I'll move this one over just a little bit because I want this to go, but leave a little space right here. And I think I'm gonna move it over just a little tiny bit more. Okay, so I'm gonna put one there and one here. And then I'm gonna take, and I've got a baby one. Hang on a second, let me find it right here. And I'm gonna put a little tiny one down between the two right here, just so it holds it and it doesn't like flop. Okay, so we're gonna put those there, and then peel these off, and then we'll go ahead and add this piece to the front. Okay, and then we're gonna do some stamping. So I'm gonna add that right about there, and then that's gonna attach, and then that's gonna come down just like that. Okay, let's get these out of the way. Now we're gonna go ahead and let's stamp our sentiments here that we have. This is going to go on the front of the card. And again, these are the Countryside Corner dies. And I'm going to use some Blackberry Bliss as well. I'm not sure which color I want to use. I'm thinking maybe I should do the Blackberry Bliss. Let's try that. If we don't like it, we'll just flip this little guy over. It's no big deal. But I think this will probably look fine on the fresh freesia. And the stamp set I'm using is the Textured Notes. And I'm going to use this little flower here. And I'm going to use the, it's a little note of appreciation just to get it on this right here. It's a little bit smaller, but I didn't want it to take up a whole lot of space. So let's go ahead and push. All right. And then we'll come in, excuse me, and we'll do the same thing with our sentiment. You know, we could do the sentiment in, what if we do it in, let's do it in fresh freesia. Why not? Let's just change up the colors. All right. Let's do one. We'll do the flowers in the dark, and let's do the sentiment in the light. I think that'll be fine. If it looks goofy, then I'll flip it over. Let's try it and see. Can't hurt anything, right? So let's put that, and let's do that right about here. Oh, I think that looks pretty. That kind of pulls it all together. A little note of appreciation. And if you have any embellishments you want to embellish it with, you're more than welcome. You can do that. I wasn't thinking, because I just wasn't thinking about that when I put this thing together. Let me move these out of the way. All right, so this is going to get attached to here. All right, so we're going to glue this, and then this is going to get attached to the side of that opening piece. All right, so we don't want to put glue, or we don't want to put dimensionals or anything on the piece that is not going to be attached, right? So I'm going to lay that right about here. All right. Okay. Oh yeah, I think that looks pretty, don't y'all? And then this is going to go on here like that. So I'm just going to put, I think I did dimensionals, did I? Yes, I did. So I'm just going to put dimensionals right on this right side. Pardon me. Just enough so that, and I think I'll stick with the black ones just because. All right, so I don't think they're going to be seen, but let me make sure I've got that right. So let's put one here. And then we'll put 3, maybe we'll do 4. Let's see. I think 3 is probably enough. Because we want to have this kind of come over like that, right? Yeah, I think that'll work. Let's see. All right, let's take this off. Hang on a minute. Before I do that, let me look. All right, so I think I want my card like that. Because we don't want this attached because we want them to open the front. I think we can add, you know what? I'm going to add 2 more. I'm just going to put them like a little bit out. So that way it holds it from flopping, if that makes sense. That's a technical crafty word, flopping. All right, let's pull these little guys off and put them in the trash can. All right, so let's go ahead and move that. Let's put this on here, and then we're going to add something to the inside as well. So I know I want that to go right about like that. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to lay that right about there. There we go. That looks nice, doesn't it? All right, and then the next thing we're going to do is this. We're going to bring, and this is going to be our blocking thing. So it's going to block it so it stands up. So I embossed that piece, and then again, we're going to put a piece of the designer paper on top of that. And this one, we're just going to glue down. It's not going to be popped up or anything. We're just going to glue it down flat on both pieces. So we put some adhesive there, and we're going to lay that right about there. So keep in mind, you can do this with any colors. This would be cute as a Christmas card. So I might make another one. I did buy the Holly Jolly with the dogs. You know me, I've got to have my dogs set. Let me pull this up because it's not moving. I'll do another one in the next couple of weeks. So we'll start some holiday cards. All right, so this one I'm going to lay here down at the bottom. Let me get up. I'm going to leave it probably about like that. So that way when we stand it up, it's going to give it room to stand and it will stand straight. All right. So I'm going to put it probably, what is that, like a 1/2 inch? Yeah, it's about a 1/2 inch up. Okay. So those of you that want the measurements, just plan on like a 1/2 inch, or you can move it however you want. Right. And I'm putting a little bit extra glue only because again, it's embossed. So I'm going to lay that right there. And that's going to go side to side. All right. Perfect. Okay. Then the next thing we're going to do, now this is going to be a test because I didn't bring my paper trimmer. I don't know what I was thinking. I know better and I didn't, but guess what? We're going to cut a piece. We're going to cut a piece of paper because we've got this white piece and I'm just going to cut a little strip. So I should be able to do that freehand. What do y'all think? Think I can do it? Well, we're going to try it. So because my flowers are going that way, right? Yeah, they're going this way. I'm going to try to cut with my scissors because we want to put a little piece and I'm going to cut, I don't know, maybe 1 inch or so. So just bear with me. We're going to cut. I know I'm living on the edge, you guys. Hopefully I don't get it too crooked. If I just stay straight and steady, we'll see when I get it on there. All right. I think I did pretty good, actually. Does it look crooked? Is it too fat? Oh, you know what? I don't think you're going to notice that. I'm going to cut that off right there. Okay. So now we're going to put this on the back so that you can write, or whoever you send the card to, you can write your message, or if you're giving it away to somebody, then they can write the message on the back of the card. So let's go ahead and we are going to... I'm going to trim this right here, and then I'll come back and trim it after I glue it down. I don't want to have all that excess. Okay, so let's add some of this to the back. And this will be where you can write your message to whomever you're sending the card to. And we're going to lay that right there and make sure we got our flowers going in the right direction. I think that's right. And then I'll trim that off. It's a lot easier to trim it off once it's been on the card. So, all right. Excuse me. Okay, so let's get that going here. We got a little bit. Let me slide it over. Let's see if we can do that. Get it slid over just a little bit. All right, and we're going to cut this off. And put that in the trash can. And then we're going to trim. I got a little piece hanging off over here. We'll trim this little piece right here too. All right. Oh, and did you all hear, and I don't know if you've seen it from other demonstrators or not. I forgot to tell you all this too. Stampin' Up is coming out with online classes now. So we can buy classes on various things. So, and you can either buy materials that they recommend or you use your stash at home. So I'll put out some more information. If you're not on my newsletter, leave me a message. I think there is a link below the video. If you don't see one, just leave me a message and put news, and I'll send you a link to join my newsletter list. All right, so we're going to put this on the back of the card. That way you can write your message. If we put it here, I think it'll be a little bit too busy. I mean, you could put a piece of white right there if you wanted to, right? You could do that. I mean, cut it down and you could have your message right here. But then if they stand it up, then they're going to see your message. So either way, you can do it that way, or you can put it on the back of the card. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on the back just in case you want, in case I either give this to somebody or because I have neighbors that buy my cards, or if I give it, sell it, then that way they have a place that they can write their message. So we're going to put that back there and make it all look pretty. Okay. And you could stamp back here. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave it the way it is. All right. So there is our easel fold card. Isn't that cute? Look how easy and quick that came together. So you open it up. That's what they're going to see. And of course, y'all can't see my embossing here. And then when they're done, they can set the card just like that. And it's going to lean against this as their closing mechanism so they can stand it up. Isn't that a great idea? Very easy, quick and easy to make this card. So there you go. That's Blackberry Bliss with Fresh Freesia. And this is using I think it's Retired Winter Regals. And then, of course, Textured Notes, I'm pretty sure is still available. All right, so there's those cards. I'm going to set those right there. Actually, I'm going to push them off to the side so they're not in the way. All right, let's get started on our next card. We're going to do some ribbon coloring. We are going to, bear with me, I'm talking as I'm getting my stuff. We're going to use this is kind of springy paper, but, you know, you just got to have some spring. Okay, so let's move that. All right, now let me show you this card. This is one that I got when I was going to convention. This was like, I don't know, it's probably been 10 years ago. You know, we used to do these swaps and I'd keep them. And all of a sudden, I just stuck them away and didn't think about it after that. And I found it the other day and I was like, oh my God, I got to make that card. So that's what we're doing. I'm going to use the Thankful Garden stamp set. That's still available. That's not retired. And then we're going to use the Thankful, the paper, the coordinating DSP that goes with this. Okay. And then I've got, these are the dots called Dear Dots. They go with the Holly Jolly Christmas, but the green is garden green. So it works perfect with what we're going to do. But let me show you the cards. I'm going to show you this one. This is the one that I got in the swap. Isn't this the cutest? Is that not cute? I love this. And I just realized that I did. Isn't that cute? So I was looking at this thing thinking, oh my God, how did they make this? Well, let me show you. That's what we're going to do. So I made one. This is, we're going to duplicate this one with the same color. So I'm going to move this one out of the way. But isn't this cute? And this again is using the papers that coordinate with the Thankful Garden. Isn't this cute? And then we don't have daffodil ribbon, at least, well, we might have some, but not with the silver trim. So we're going to color that with our Stampin' Blends. But isn't that cute? And then I did carried the paper over on the inside and then stamped You Make a Difference. But isn't that the cutest? Now, I did notice that when I folded mine a little bit more. This person, I'm assuming it's a she made hers thinner. So I think I'm going to try to do mine a little bit less fat, if you will, and make them a little skinnier. But isn't that the cutest? I just thought it was cute. So this is what we're going to make. And it's very easy. Wait till I show you. And again, this is an this is my Olay. I put O-L-E, O-L-E for Olay, online exclusive. So you can find that in the Stampin' Up website, and you can do that through my online store. Okay, so this is what we're going to make right here. We're going to use this color scheme and all of the above. All right, so let's get moving on this one. All right, this is crushed curry, and this is 5.5 by 8.5. And I scored it 4 1/4. I did not score it, so we're going to fold it in half, and I'm going to grab it by the ends and make sure I've got it even with my hands, and make sure I've got it even. Hang on. Whoops. I'm going to hold on to it. See, this is the part. This is why you should use your trimmer, your scoring tool. All right, so I'm going to hold it, and then I'm just going to push it down, and then bring in my bone folder, and I'm just going to give a good crease to that, and we'll get that. There we go. Now, this really is a pretty easy card, too. So when you all see this, you're going to be making a lot of them. And if you make some, make sure you share with me. Post it on the page, and make sure you share. Okay. So we're going to start with 4 by 5 1/4 piece of designer paper. That's pretty easy, right? So we're going to put that on here, and this is the back side of that paper. And we're going to put some glue on here if we can get it out of the thing. See? All right, there we go. And I almost thought about coloring, and I thought, no, I don't want to color the leaves, but you could color the leaves if you chose to. But the problem is, if you use blends, they're going to soak through. So you may not want to do that. All right, so that's going to go down here. And that, again, it's 4 by 5 1/4. This is very springy, but it's still, it's hot here in Florida. So we can consider this summer and spring all year round. All right, then you're going to need 2 pieces of 2 by 4 inch, 2 by 5 1/4 pieces of the paper. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to glue this down, and I'm only going to glue down part of this, and then we're going to fold it back, or we can fold it back before we glue it down. It really doesn't matter. So let's try that. Let's glue it. Let's see if we can do a thinner, skinnier version. Where's my card? Hang on. Let's bring this one back up. All right, let's see how we can get ours. So we're going to come back, and she doesn't. Oh, I see. Let's see. Let's do it like that. How's that? That probably looks good, because this is going to be hidden. All right. Let's try that one. Let's do that. And then this one, let's do the same at the bottom. Now this one's going to come up, and it's going to go over. See, we got to come. All right, I'm going to flip it around this way so I can see. All right, we want to do it this way, right? So we're going to come in, and we're going to do the same thing. Hopefully we've got it. All right, looks kind of weird, but that's okay. It's going to work. And then we're going to, whoopsie, hang on a minute. I got some, I should have glue dots in here. Yep, there they are. Hang on, let me get them out. They're from my paper pumpkin thing. All right, so we're gonna do that. So let's go ahead. Now we can glue this down, and then we'll add some glue dots to the flaps to hold the flaps down. So I'm just gonna bring this over, put a little bit of glue right around these edges here. All right, now we can lay this down. All right, so let's get that, and we're gonna bring this one in. Make sure you got your, and this should line up edge to edge and bottom to top, just like that. It's 5 1/4, so it should fit perfectly. All right, whoopsie, I just slid it over. All right, there we go. All right, so we're going to do that. And then we're going to do this one the same way. All right, so this one we're going to fold this way. And we'll try to keep them the same so they look somewhat symmetrical, right? Now this part they're not going to see, because that's going to be hidden by our triangle. So I think I'm going to go like that. I think we'll be all right, because this is, again, that's going to be hidden. And then we're going to do the same thing down here. So let's just fold this one, fold it up just a little bit, and we'll just go like that. Okay. So now we've got that, and I know it looks kind of weird. Okay. So we're going to glue this down. I told you it's a very easy card. All right. So let's get our adhesive on here. I'm going to make some more of these. I just think they're so unique looking. I don't know how that person came up with this idea. I had not seen this before, and I have no idea. I couldn't find a date or anything of when I got that. So, all right. So we're going to lay this on this side of our card front. And again, I'm lining it up to the right edge of that bottom piece of the designer paper. And we're going to push that down and make sure it's all nice and even, which it is. All right. Now look, that looks kind of gunky, doesn't it? Looks kind of weird. All right. So now we're going to take some glue dots and we're going to add a little glue dot just to hold. And these are from my paper pumpkin. So we're just going to put a little glue dot down to hold that flap in place. We'll put that right there. All right. And then we'll do that to all 4 pieces. Or you can do a little piece of, a little bit of adhesive or seal, whichever you prefer. A glue dot sometimes is a little bit easier. And let's add one more and put that right here. Now, you know, if you're particular, I guess you can measure out how much you want to fold over, but I don't think it's really going to make that much difference. I don't think people are going to be worried about that, you know. So let's just pull this little piece off. Get my little piece. Come on, baby. Put that in the trash. All right, now we got these guys folded. I'm gonna give them a good, all right, so there's that. And now we cut 3 triangles. So we've done, I've done a garden green, which is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 or 2 3/4 square. And then we've done the crushed curry, which is 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. And then of course the white is 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, right? So we're going to go ahead and glue these on each other and then I'll stamp my sentiment. So I'm just going to glue them on here as a square and then we're going to lay them down on a diagonal. So the triangle, it looks like a triangle. All right, so we'll go ahead and get that on here. We'll place that there. I just thought this was such a neat card. All right, so there's that. And then we're going to stamp our sentiments. Here they are. All right, so on here, I am going to stamp, thank you, friend. Let me pull this one off. And I'm going to stamp on the white. Now, remember, when you get ready to stamp your sentiment, you need to stamp it on the triangle because that's how it's going to be seen, correct? Because if you do it like this, it's not going to be right. So we got to go corner to corner. Okay. All right. So let's get our garden green out. And we will ink this up. Whoopsie. And then we're going to stamp it right here in the center. I'm going to get a little bit more ink on the bottom part. All right, so we are going to place that right about, I'm going to try to center it right about there. Okay, perfect. And then let's move this over here out of the way for just a moment. All right, and then we're going to take that and we're going to add that on here. So we're going to put it in our, like that, right? So it's going to be in the square. So we just put it in the square. So let's add our adhesive. All right, and we're going to get that right in the side of there. Move it up just a tad. All right, so there's our triangle. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to take the ribbon and we're going to tie a bow, and I'm going to color it first. So we're going to color, let me get my scrap paper. Hang on one second. Let me reach down. Oh, wait, I got a piece of cardstock. Hold on. We'll just use one of these. Nope. Hang on. I just had it in over here. Oh, here we go. Oh, I wiped it off earlier. Okay, so we're going to take and tie a little bow. So I'm going to cut. Oh, my goodness. This. Okay. All right, let's see. I'm just going to cut off. This is probably going to be more than I need, but let's just go with that. And we're going to take our Stampin' Right marker. Now this is crushed curry, which we don't have in blends, but we do have our Daffodil Delight. So I'm just going to take my fat tip of my daffodil and I am going to rub it across my ribbon. So you can change the colors. If you have any kind of white ribbon and you want something to match what you're doing, this is what you can do. You can color your ribbon and whoopsie. And I'm just going to, I probably don't need all that, so I'm not going to color that. And then you can just make it as light or as dark as you want. Okay. So, and then that kind of it goes through so you can see that. All right, so let's let that sit for just a minute so I don't get ink all over my fingers. Hopefully it's dry. All right, and then I'm just going to tie my bow, and we're going to add that with some glue dots to the top corner of my card, and then we'll put some embellishments on the bottom, and then we're going to pop that up with dimensionals. So I'm just going to tie my bow. Now it's going to be a little bit bigger than I want. So I'm going to push this through, and then we're going to, if I can get my fingers on it. You know, I make everything look so hard, don't I? I'm going to pull this one down so it doesn't come out. Once I get it going, it will be fine. There we go. And then I just keep pulling my tails and getting them so I can get my ribbon smaller because I don't need a big piece. But you want to make sure you've got enough, right? So not that you want to waste, but sometimes we have to do that. Okay, there we go. All right, so there is our ribbon. Look at that. Isn't that cute? And I don't think that's too big. So we're going to leave it like that. I'm going to cut the tails. Let's do like that. And then let's cut this one right about there. This one is a little bit too long. But that's okay. They don't have to be exact. All right, so there's our ribbon. Okie doke. And let me move some of the stuff out of the way here. Put that in my lap. All right, let's get this guy out of the way and bring in our card. And let's go ahead and attach our ribbon. So I'm going to use some some glue dots again. I'm going to put 2 on here. I want to make sure that there's enough to hold it in place. I'm going to just stick them right up here in this corner and take that off. The little piece of paper, the little backing. All right, put that in the trash can. Okie doke. And then we're going to lay this little guy down just like that. Now you can add more glue dots if you want to. Isn't that cute? Isn't that precious? All right, and then we're going to use some of our deer dots. And this is deer as in love you deer, D-E-A-R, not deer as in the animal. Okay, so we're going to pull this out. And it's got, it looks like petal pink, and I'm assuming that might be balmy blue. I'm not sure. Let me get this thing to come out. Hold on a second. You know, when you first get them out of the bag, there we go. There we go. All right, so I'm going to place, I like to do a large. When I'm going to do something like this, I'm going to put 3 down here. So I like to put a large in the center down here. This kind of just takes up that free space. And then you got some small ones. I'm just going to put a small one on each side. And that gives us our odd number of 3. And we'll just do it just about like that. Okay. All right. And now we're going to add some dimensionals, and then we'll put our inside piece into the card. Oh, hang on. Get this in here. All right. So let's get our dimensionals. Now these will, I'll just do white. It doesn't really make a difference, but let's just use some white ones. Actually, we're going to use the back. Do I have this cut? We're going to use the side pieces of our dimensionals. All right, so let's get those on here. All right, so let's flip this over, and we'll put dimensionals on all 4 corners. And I don't know if we need one on the inside. I don't think we need one on the inside. I think it will be fine. All right, so we're going to go ahead and attach this, and we'll be almost done. We just have to do our last piece for our message. We're going to decorate that with just a little piece of the pattern paper. All right, so now we're going to take that, look at that, and you're going to line it up. The corners should go. I'm going to lay this down, hopefully without it sticking. It's going to be almost, almost just like that. Not quite touching the edges, but almost. So we're going to push that down. All right, and that's that. So now let's get our, the last thing we need to do is bring in our piece of cardstock. We're going to add another piece of the designer paper, and we're going to do a quick stamp-a-rooski on it. So let me pull this one off. Hang on 1 minute. And we're going to stamp the inside. I always put mine, people always ask me why I put my stuff on at an angle, because it forces me to look to make sure my stuff is straight. That's why I do it that way. All right, so we're going to stamp the inside that says "You make a difference." My dog is clicking on the outside. She wants to come in, but she's going to have to wait. So I'm just going to put that right about here. That gives me room to write my message. All right. And then we're going to add a piece of the coordinating paper. And then we could always decorate our envelope, which we're not going to do that tonight, but don't forget, because we always have so much paper that we tend to have left over every year, right? So we want to make sure that we are using up our paper. So why not use it to decorate the insides, the outsides, and your envelopes? That's a good way of using it, right? All right, so we're going to place that with our flowers going in the right direction. All right, so let's get that on there. This is really a springy card, but I liked it. I thought it was pretty. Nothing like brightening someone's day, right? And then we're going to add this to the inside of our card. And then I'll move some stuff out of the way. See that. All right, so let me just along. Card we just made here. Too, since it's a different color. Let's move him up here. This one's the same, so we don't need to show him. All right, so what do y'all think? Do you like those cards? Put that down here a little bit. Ah, he's sticking. There we go. All right, what do y'all think? I love these cards. I think they are just gorgeous. What do y'all think? Thank you for sharing, Debbie. I greatly appreciate that. Oh, you're from Michigan. All right. Hi, Kathy. How are you? Okay, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed these cards. Again, this is the, I guess, a triple flip easel card. So if you just joined, this makes an easel and it stands up on its own. And then, of course, this one we did the triangle with this new fold. Isn't that the cute? All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I greatly appreciate it. I really appreciate you spending your time with me on this Tuesday evening. Have a great week. I will see you all. I don't think I have anything this week. If I do, just watch my Facebook page. I don't think we have anything Friday, but you never know. I could. Anyways, check back Thursday, because if I have something, it will be posted. All right. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you spending time this evening. I hope you've enjoyed these cards. And until next time, I will see you later. And again, I'm Dawn Duvall. Thank you so much and have a great weekend if I don't see you before then. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye now.